Are you planning to take the TOEFL? Are you having a hard time trying to take notes, but somehow you don't know how to do it? And by the time you want to answer the questions in the TOEFL, you don't know what to do? Well, stay with me because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to be a good note taker. Why? Well, very simple, because if you can't take good notes, you can always find the right answers. Hi, my name is Lucio Lejo, and I'm an English teacher. And in the last 5 to 6 years, we have helped more than 500 professionals like you to get their B2, C1, IELTS, and TOEFL certificates. And today, we are going to show you the best way to take notes. So before I show you guys my strategies, don't forget please to give this video love by subscribing to my YouTube channel, giving us a like, or dropping a comment. I always read the comments, so if you have a question, just drop your question down below. I'll be happy to give you a hand. Okay, so like I said at the beginning of the video, if you're taking good notes, you will get the right answers, okay? But the question is, how can I take good notes? Because what most people do is when they are listening or when they're reading, the quality of their notes is not good. And as a consequence, they never get the right answers. So I'm going to show you today only 2 ways to be a good note taker. Are you ready? Let's go. So my first strategy is quite simple. Take notes of major ideas. Take notes of major ideas. What does it mean? Simply, it means you don't have to take notes of every single word you read or hear. You only need to take notes of the most important ideas you read or hear. Why? Because if you're planning to take notes of every single word you read or listen, you're never going to do it. No one can do that, okay? So I'm going to show you how to do it right now. Let's imagine you're taking the TOEFL exam and it's the listening section of the test. And well, I mean, you know that you need to take good notes because based on the notes, later you need to answer the questions. Well, let's imagine you're listening to the following lecture in a sociology class. And the sentence goes like this. Status refers to a position in society or in a group, but there are really 2 types of, and well, the lecture continues, right? So in this long sentence, do I have to take notes of every single word I heard? Absolutely not, okay? Only a few words are the most important words in this sentence. What are those words? Well, look at the example above. Status, position, society, and group. Let me repeat that again. Status, position, society, and group. And what do these words have in common? Most of them are nouns. Most of them are nouns. And yeah, these are the kind of words you need to take notes. Nouns, verbs, and adjectives. Let me repeat that again. Nouns, verbs, and adjectives. You don't need to take notes of prepositions, okay? I mean, you don't need that. And every time the professor or the speaker is repeating the same thing over and over and over again, you don't need to take notes of that either. You only need to take notes of the most important words, and that is, in most of the cases, nouns, verbs, or adjectives, okay? Well, this is our first tip. And of course, it requires a lot of practice. I mean, I know it sounds too easy, but with enough practice, you can become a master of this. And remember, depending on if you have good notes, you will always have good answers. Now, the second tip to be a good note taker is to use abbreviations and symbols. Use abbreviations and symbols. Why? Well, remember that in the exam, in the TOEFL exam, you don't have much time. What's worse, you only listen to the recording once, and that's a very challenging thing to do. So, what is the best way to deal with this? Use abbreviations and symbols. Let me give you an example. Let's imagine, of course, I mean, this is a very simple example, but you get the point, right? Let's imagine you're listening to this sentence. Leonardo da Vinci painted La Mona Lisa. Okay, so you're listening to the lecture, and the speaker, the professor, said this sentence. Question, are you really gonna take notes of every single word you heard? No way. Because if you do that, you won't be able to take notes of the next sentences. So you need to use abbreviations and symbols. So rather than writing Leonardo da Vinci painted La Mona Lisa, I simply write LD, ML. LD could be an arrow to the left, an arrow to the right, ML. Okay? So what does it mean for me? It simply means Leonardo da Vinci painted La Mona Lisa. So number one, I don't need to write the full names. I can only use the first letters of their names. And number two, I don't need to write the verb. If it is a simple verb, I can use symbols like arrows, hashtags, ads, etc. The idea is simple. The shorter, the better. The shorter, the better. And the more notes you can take. And the more notes you take, the more information you have to answer the questions. And well, those were the two tips that I wanted to share with you today. I hope you found these tips useful and helpful. And if you found this video productive and fruitful, just like, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. And down below, you can see a link for another webinar, which is a bit longer than this, where I share with you 5 more strategies to get your B2, C1, IELTS, or TOEFL in 12 weeks or less with my help, okay? And also you have another link if you want to get in touch with me for one-to-one sessions. Okay, so that's it for today. I'm Lucio, and I'll be happy to give you a hand very soon. Peace.